There's something about this time of year that feels like a breath, a chance to pause and reflect, to embrace the quiet of winter. Today, I want to talk to you about decluttering, but in a way that brings joy and a fresh start. Now, I know that the idea of decluttering might feel overwhelming, especially if you're a hobby crafter and a sewist like me. Our creative spaces tend to accumulate bits and bobs, scraps, and supplies over time. But decluttering doesn't have to feel like a chore. It can be an act of celebration, of letting go of the old and making space for the beautiful and the meaningful. Today, we'll explore the idea of decluttering from 3 angles: our homes, our craft rooms, and the spirit of giving thoughtfully. So grab a cozy drink, settle in, and let's dive in. Let's start with the big picture, the home. There's something so magical about creating a clean slate in your space, especially when the world outside is so still. So here's my first challenge to you. Take a walk around your home and choose 10 things that you can donate or let go of today. If finding 10 things is really hard, push yourself and find 10. I'm sure you can find them. You can even count obvious trash. But if finding 10 things is really easy, keep going. Try to find another 10 and another. This can be anything from clothes that no longer fit to books that you've read and won't revisit. It can be books that you've purchased and never read. This is not a reflection of you. It's not a reflection of failure. It's not a reflection of the book. We all have finite time and ability to do the things that we're hoping to do. If something isn't serving you, just let it go. You can rummage through and check for kitchen gadgets you haven't touched in a year, or see if you just have too many mugs. Sometimes it just takes a quick scan of each room to realize there are things that we're holding on to that we don't actually need or want anymore. Okay, now we're moving over to the craft room. For us crafters, this space is a treasure chest of inspiration, but if we're being honest, it can also be very cluttered and a mess. If you're anything like me, you probably have fabric scraps, yarn scraps, unfinished projects, and maybe too many tools. Does that sound familiar at all to you? When it comes to decluttering your creative spaces, it helps to ask ourselves 2 questions. First, does this item inspire me? And second, what will I do with this once it's complete? If the answer to either of these is uncertain, it might be time to just let it go. Here in Utah, I have found a craft supply store that's a thrift store. So it's a special thrift store dedicated and devoted to taking people's old works in progress, old crafting materials, and they sell it all at a discount. You should check and see if there's anything like that in your area. Here's another idea. You can set aside a box or bin specifically for supplies you'd like to part with. Once it's full, consider donating it to a local craft club, a school, or someone just getting started in sewing or crafting. There's something really special about passing along materials that someone else will use who will love them. If you have items that you're unsure about, stick them in a separate bin and put them somewhere out of reach where you won't go and get into them haphazardly. And if you've realized after a couple of months you haven't needed those items, it might be time to let them go. Remember, clearing out your space is about making room for the projects that you actually love, the projects that bring you joy, new projects, new ideas, and the things that truly bring light into your crafting life. So let's let go of the things that are bogging us down and make way for the creative energy the spring will bring. Now we're going to shift gears a bit and talk about gift giving. Let's take a step back and think about what really makes a gift meaningful. Intentional gift giving isn't just about the price tag or the quantity. It's about the thought, the care, and the love behind the gift. For us sewists, we have a superpower. We can make things with our hands. Imagine how special it feels to give someone a handmade item, a quilted throw, or even something as simple as a sunglasses pouch. These handmade gifts carry a piece of our time, energy, and love. And to me, that's always priceless. Now that we're letting go of clutter, let's talk about how to make our sewing room feel warm, cozy, and functional in the winter season. And I love the idea of turning my sewing room into a little sanctuary. Here's where you can really have fun with textures and light. Bring a cozy blanket. Make sure it's not polyester. A candle. Make sure it's naturally scented. Or even some string lights to create a soft, inviting glow. I love using Christmas lights this time of year. It makes me so happy. I love it, I love it, I love it. Organize your tools in a way that makes them easy to reach but still feels visually calming. Maybe add a small plant or two. Bring a touch of the outdoors indoors, reminding you of life and of growth even in the quieter, colder months. This isn't just about aesthetics, it's about creating a space that feels nurturing. When your sewing room is warm, organized, and inviting, it becomes a place where you can recharge and lose yourself in creativity. I know that when my sewing space is cluttered, all I can do is focus on how I need to organize it. And it is the biggest killer of creativity. So, as you're decluttering, think about how each item contributes in the coziness and functionality of your space. Finally, we'll talk about the rhythm of winter itself. While the world outside seems so busy, we have an opportunity to lean into the slowness and to let it guide us. So take some time this month to just be still. Enjoy some warm drinks in the dark mornings, sit by a window, snuggle up with a blanket. Use this time to think about what you want to let go of as this year closes, and not just in your physical space, but in your life. What habits, thoughts, or patterns are not serving you? Just like we declutter our physical spaces, clearing mental clutter can be such a profound sense of peace. So embrace this beautiful season of rest and reflection. Let yourself dream a little. Think about the intentions that you want to carry on with you. And remember, you don't have to do it all at once. Small, intentional, consistent steps are all it takes. All right, my friends, that wraps up our chat for today, and I hope that this episode has inspired you to embrace a little decluttering, both in your home and in your creative space. Remember, it's not about creating a perfect space, but about creating a space that is a reflection of you. Thank you so much for spending this cozy time with me. I hope that you feel lighter, motivated. As always, if you're looking for some eco-friendly fabrics to bring a little sustainability into your crafting, don't forget to check out the shop. And for those of you wanting a quick resource on eco-friendly materials, you can grab my free PDF, A Quick Guide to Eco-Friendly Fabrics. It's linked in the show notes. Stay cozy, creative, and we'll chat in the next episode.